From the green screen to behind the scenes and everything in between, Sacramento Filmworks is your one-stop shop for all things filmmaking. I'm your host, Klein Moore, and with me today, sitting in for Kenesha Allen, is Miss Amy Henry. Welcome.
Thank you, Klein. It's good to be here. We're going to miss Kenesha, but I'm excited to be here. Tune in. We've got a special guest for you today. We'll be right back.
So, you've done a couple of shows since high school, you've been bitten by the acting bug, but you think you're ready for the big screen? Well, hold on just a second, because acting for the stage is fundamentally different than acting for the camera.
And we've got a wonderful guest with us today. I'm so excited about this. She is actually going to show us the difference of doing just that. And she's had an opportunity for several years now to teach those who have a desire to act how to do just both. Welcome, Marie Bain. We're so glad to have you with us.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Awesome.
Good. Well, let's jump into it right away. I want to know, you teach now acting for film. How did you get your start?
Well, I began with theater, like a lot of actors. I'm a singer, actor, dancer, and my bachelor is in music, voice, and then my master's is in theater and acting. So I've been doing predominantly theater to begin with, and then I also, like so many people, wanted to transfer into film. So I did.
Sure.
You jump right in, and it is very different. For most people who come from theater, you're taught to project and to be big, and depending on how big the house is, how big is your voice, so you're going to fill the space.
Yeah, people at the back have to hear you.
That's right. If you've got 600 seats, you've got to fill it. If it's outdoor, it's different. The difference with film is you have to be so much smaller. And let's face it, the key word with the majority of film and TV that we see is realism. We expect realism in our film and TV nowadays. It used to be more stylized, and occasionally it will be bigger. But the main thing we're after with film is less.
Instead of
less
over the
is
top.
more,
Right.
exactly. Okay. And it also depends on how close the camera is going to be. So if you're doing a wide shot, you might want to talk a little bit louder, but certainly not anything past usual, because the boom's right here, of course. And then, of course, the closer the camera gets, the smaller you have to get, and the more realistic it has to become. So that's the biggest difference. And another one is eyes. Film is about faces. Film is about the close-up.
Sure.
And with stage, I always tell my students, stage is a wide shot. It's always a wide shot. The big difference is film can bring you into a medium to super tight, and some of them even go to just the eyes. And what you have to learn to do, there's so much to learn, but one of the biggest things is learning to be still, to not move around. If the camera is this tight on you, or as the actor, if the director wants a really tight shot, you have to learn to be still and do your acting and just move very little and let the eyes do it.
Wow.
And you get this kind of thing going.
Yeah, and you can see the difference, because obviously we've all seen, various genre on television, and you have the telenovelas that they really get in tight, and it's like the emotions for like 5 minutes, watching the eyes go back and forth. Whereas, in theater, they make the eyes extra big just so the people in the back of the house can see it, and you're just emoting to get the point across rather than,
And that depends
intensity.
too, because the trick with theater is if you're in a bigger house, you still have to keep it real, if it's modern. I mean, we can do a lot more stylistically when you're doing the classics, or it's more what we call presentational. But if it's a modern drama or comedy on stage, you still have to make it realistic. That's what modern acting is all about, in whichever mode it may be. So it's the eyes. The big thing, since this is film, I want to really emphasize you look at your partner, and as I like to say, you look at them and you look into them. And of course, it's acting. It isn't like here where we are ourselves
Sure.
and we're just communicating and talking, and this is wonderful.
Right.
But you have to pretend to be somebody else, which is the huge thing, of course, about acting, is creating a character that is telling a story
And make it believable.
and make it believable.
Wow.
Now, what you have to learn to do is trust your director. And that is on stage and film, but especially with film. You have to have a director who will tell you if you're too big, because usually that's going to be the problem.
So when you teach this class, you're teaching the acting side, but you also then have to talk a little bit about directing because they're linked.
Well, the class that I teach at the Art Institute in Sacramento here is acting and directing for the film students.
Okay.
They are people who want to make film.
Okay.
They're not focused, most of them, on acting. They're focused on directing and then making their own movies. So what I get to do is introduce them to the basic concepts of acting for film, but also directing for film. And you have to have both. They are very different art forms. It takes years to learn them. And as with any art, you have to do it. So we can sit here and talk. We could talk for days. I could tell you read books. And it's no good until you get up and try it and fail and get corrected and fail and do it some more. And eventually you find your own way of doing it.
So for that person who may not necessarily go into acting, but more so into directing, what you're saying is they're encouraged to actually learn how to act so that they can then direct people.
I think it's the best way to go. Obviously, there are a few directors who haven't, but most of the great directors did act first. You have to know what the actor's process is. I feel that they need to know how an actor feels, how it's scary.
Okay.
It's scary.
Sure.
You know, nerves are the enemy, and that is misdirected fear. And so what you have to learn to do is channel the energy and channel the nerves so that it's not nerves, it's going out.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So what is the average age right now of the student that you have? Is it a wide gamut of different folks, or is it
Average
a
is probably
basic-
mid-20s, but we have right out of high school, so it's everything from 18. We have a lot of vets, a lot of veterans. And so basically it would be 18 to 30.
So as filmmaking becomes more accessible to the general public, these skill sets are going to be necessary for a wider variety of
Oh,
persons.
yes.
So-
And it's digital. I mean, what my institution teaches is
Okay.
digital filmmaking.
Well, can we get one just little overview then of kind of some of the things that your class might touch on?
Okay. Well, basically, I've already said most of it. The big thing is eyes, relaxation, which is so easy to say and so hard to do, to be relaxed in front of the camera.
Yeah.
Because if you're tense, you're going to block everything.
That comes
And it
across.
looks really phony. It's freezing. You'll see actors freezing a lot. I'd like to throw out something for people who might want to learn more about acting for film. There's a wonderful, it's Michael Caine. Michael Caine has made a wonderful 1-hour discussion, and it's called Michael Caine Acting on Film. You can get it on YouTube.
Okay.
Oh, great.
All you have to do is go to YouTube, type in Michael Caine acting for film or acting to film. Either one will get you there.
Sure.
And it's a 1-hour series that's been broken up into little chunks, and it's fabulous. It's a wonderful introductory course, and you will hear him talking about this. Obviously, I mean, he's the professional. He's done it for now like 40 years.
Right.
And it's eyes, it's listening. That's the other big one. You listen to your partner. Acting is about working off of each other. So I like to say it's like throwing a ball. I throw you the ball with the line, you catch it, you throw it back.
right.
So huge things for film acting is eyes, looking at your partner, looking into them. You have to believe. I mean, that's where it's magic. Acting is an art. We can talk about technique, which is voice, physicality, but whatever makes actors, the great ones, work cannot be quantified. And you have to find out by doing it what is going to help you get there. But get there means you have to produce a believable character that the director is going to be happy with your performance, that is going to tell the story. Never forget story. I mean, that's what the director's job is to do, is to make sure the story stays clear. You as an actor, your job is to know who your character is, what's your motivation, what do you want, and know your lines.
Oh, right.
The most basic thing
Sure.
is what a lot of beginners kind of blow off. You can't. The difference, one of the huge differences between film and theater, again, film we get rehearsal. I love rehearsal. I love rehearsal. And it's anywhere between 2 weeks to 2 months, depending on what you're dealing with. A lot of times film, especially in professional, you show up on set the day of the shoot and you're supposed to know your lines, and you literally just walk in, they tell you where to move, boom, you go. And so at a minimum, you have to know your lines backwards and forwards.
Good. Well, we have a couple of people in the studio audience that
Yes.
just got some lines.
Yes, they
and
did.
What we're going to do is we're going to take a little short break, and when we come back, we'll get some of that practice that it takes to do acting on film. If you'd like to be a member of our studio audience, to meet and greet film industry professionals, visit our website at ncfc.tv. And we're back with Sacramento Film Works and our guest, Miss Marie Bain. And we've got 2 guinea pigs who just volunteered out of the audience. Thank you so much, Zach and Emily.
Thank you.
And let's take it away.
Okay, what we have here is these wonderful people have been given this script like half an hour ago at the most. So we're just going to read through it once, which is the first thing you do anytime you're going to run through a scene. So read through the script, or if you're off book, that'd be great too. The main thing to remember is if you focus on each other and feed off each other, that's the basics of acting, and we'll see what happens on the first go through. Okay.
I can see them dance every night of the week. They're just marvelous.
They are, aren't they? But of course, walking into any theater gives me a thrill.
It's been so lovely, Tony. I wish it didn't have to end.
Oh, is it over? Do I have to go right away?
Well, not if you don't want to.
I don't.
Do you want a cold drink?
That'd be wonderful.
I'll see what I have in the fridge. Do you want to come with me?
I'd follow you to the ends of the earth.
Just to the fridge is fine.
Okay,
And
yes.
so tell us.
So, well, they did so much right. Oh my God, this was fabulous. I mean, this is wonderful. For a first time like this is great. We're just going to do it again, slow it down. That's always, this is an expression of nerves, is speeding through your lines, so we're going to slow it down. You've got great chemistry. You're looking at her. You really like this woman. This woman really likes this man. It's a cute little love scene. It's very sweet, which is what you're doing with it. A little smaller with the face. You've done theater, right? Have you done a little bit of theater? Yeah. Okay, less is more. Just talk to him. You're really close to each other. Just connect and look at each other and mean it. I would follow you to the ends of the earth. Which is so sweet. Okay?
Let's see it.
Again. Nice. Just breathe and go.
I could see them every night of the week. They're just marvelous.
They are, aren't they? But of course, stepping into any theater gives me a thrill.
It's been really lovely, Tony. I wish it didn't have to end.
Oh, is it over? Do I have to go right now?
Not if you don't want to.
I don't.
Would you like a cold drink?
That'd be wonderful, yeah.
I'll see what I have in the fridge. Do you want to come with me?
I'd follow you to the ends of the earth.
Just to the fridge is fine.
Yes! See?
All right. And they just met?
I know.
Okay.
Very nice.
Oh, my
And see, it
goodness.
was better. This is the other thing you do with film. You do it over and over, and if you need 10 takes, you do 10 takes. And if you need 2, you stop at 2. Nice, guys. Very nice. Thank you so much.
Thanks for helping us out. And when we come back, we'll be in the studio audience getting more participation with your questions. Stay tuned. Sacramento FilmWorks is sponsored by the Northern California Filmmakers Coalition, which provides filmmakers an opportunity to learn and network with professionals in the filmmaking industry in the Sacramento region. Join us each Wednesday at 6 p.m. at Access Sacramento, 4623 T Street, Suite A. We'll see you in the movies. And we're back with Sacramento FilmWorks and our guest, Marie Bain, and we're going to Amy in the studio audience.
And this gentleman, your first name?
Chef,
Chef, what question would you like to ask?
I'd like to know if you have a special technique for memorizing your lines.
Memorizing lines is, I hate people who can memorize easily. I have a bear of a time. You just have to pound them in. I mean, there are people who will record them on a tape recorder. They'll put the other person's cue line, and then they'll pause and then tape their own line, and then pause and then go to the next cue line. I just sit and pound them in my head as much as I can, and then I get a friend. Because as soon as you think you know it and you go off book, you don't. And you blank. And I sit and swear a lot. So you've got to have a good friend who's willing to go, no, it's this, no, it's this. That's how I do it. Yeah.
That's a great question. Thank you so much, Chef. And we've got another question here. These are good questions. Wow. All right. You stand and give us your first name.
Yes, hi, I'm Roxy.
Roxy, what question would you like to ask today?
Yes, my question is, what is the best way not to rush dialogue on camera?
Okay. Well, that's just it. See, that's a technical question. And basically, if you're committed to the acting, if you're in the moment, and if you know what you're doing as far as what you're trying to get out of the other character, it will be there naturally. You cannot technically be thinking, I have to say the line slowly. Because if you're thinking that, it's going to show on the camera and they're going to have to do it again. So it gets down to the basics again of looking at your partner, looking in. The more you do it, the easier it gets. It'll slow down. You'll find with the director, that's the director's job, to help you find those beats, to find where you're going to pause. Do you stay connected or not? Yes. You know, but you can't, well, again, it all is contradictory. You can, but you can't.
There's no formula for it.
There
no
isn't. The
rubber
main
stamp,
thing is
right.
you shouldn't be worrying about talking slowly. What you should be worrying about is, not even worrying, what you should be doing is the scene and acting in the scene with your partner. Then it'll happen. Rehearsal, which is why you do 10 takes if need be.
Okay, great.
Okay?
Good
Thank you.
question. And our last question, would you stand for us? All right. And your first name?
Martin,
Martin, what question would you like to ask Marie?
is it true that some individuals are just liked by the camera? And if so, why is this?
Well, that's the magic. There is no answer. Yes, it is true. This is why there are some great people who do wonderful work on theater, and when they try to move to film, it just doesn't happen. It is magic, it is indefinable, and this is why when you go into audition for film, as she had asked the question, you will be on tape. They need to. If they're not putting you on tape, they don't know what they're doing. Because I can sit here and look at you and get a feed off of you and a feel, and it can be completely different when the film takes over. It's magic, people. I do not use that word lightly. Everything about it is magic. You can't figure out why it works and why it doesn't. It just is.
Well, if you'd like to learn more about how to do the magic with Marie Bain, they can reach you either by going to the Art Institute of California,
Correct.
Sacramento, and that website is Art Institute of California /Sacramento.
Or you can just Google.
Okay.
Google it too, and I'm mbain@aii.edu.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for
Thank
being
you
here
for
with us
having
today.
me.
And we are going to go into our next segment, the Sacramento Spotlight segment, where we get to meet one of our own local talent. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
If you'd like to be a member of our studio audience, to meet and greet film industry professionals, visit our website at ncfc.tv.
Well, welcome back. We are here with Michael Brown, who is sitting in for our Sacramento Spotlight, where we bring you local talent right here in the Sacramento metro area. Michael, welcome.
Thank you.
We are so happy that you are here, and I am really, really excited that I get a chance to talk with you and meet you. And you are doing something really, really unique and very special. Not only just for the metro part of Sacramento, but also for schools everywhere. And it is called Music Comes First, a documentary
Yes.
that you are the executive producer of.
Yes.
Tell us a little bit about what Music Come First is.
Well, Music Comes First is a passion of mine I've had. It came to me 2 years ago, kind of in a dream or a thought. And what I wanted to do was be able to save music programs in schools. All the studies and research show that music helps with cognitive function, intellectual IQs, just the brain function of our young people. And right now, the music programs are being taken out of schools because of funding shortages or whatever the priorities are. And so I wanted to make a statement through film in a way to keep and preserve music programs in schools and show its mandatory, I guess, importance in educational curriculums.
So are you taking local talent and showcasing that talent and allowing that to be a platform to actually help fund other music programs so that we can bring music back into the classroom? Is that right?
Absolutely. Just in December, we did our first fundraiser for this. And we had celebrity rapper Yo-Yo come.
Okay.
And basically we just had a showcase of all the local talents. A lot of them were artists who had gotten Sammys. So, you know, keeping it to the talented people who are being acknowledged in Sacramento. And we sold tickets and we raised money and we gave it to Yo-Yo School of Hip Hop.
Awesome.
Yes.
Well, in a few seconds, we're going to actually see some of that documentary. It is still in process, correct?
Yes, it
All
is.
right, great. Well, we're going to take a look at that in just a few moments and then get a chance to talk to you about how you actually started the process of producing, because I'm sure there's viewers that are saying, I've got a dream, I've got a vision, I have no idea how to start. So maybe you can share with us when we come back just a little bit about how you got started.
Okay.
All right, we'll be right back. That was amazing. Wow, what you guys are doing with Music Comes First is just going to explode. Tell me real quickly, as the executive producer, what were some of the major challenges that you faced producing this and what you hope to accomplish through the documentary?
Well, as executive producer, you have to work with the team. I had an excellent team. They worked hard, they worked for free. They gave their money, they donated money, they helped me raise money. So when it comes to funding and that kind of thing, just have a really good network and a great team behind you, because those kinds of things can open the doors. And what we hope to accomplish with Music Comes First is really just bringing that awareness and a movement to allow parents to talk to their children about being in music programs and maybe even supporting them in music programs, getting educators and teachers to be proactive in incorporating music in their curriculums, and even like on the higher levels like the state and how the funding is given to schools, hopefully they will start making music a priority.
Now, are you still advising the mayor here in Sacramento?
I do marketing with him for
Awesome.
a community organization.
Good.
He does, yes.
Michael, thank you so much for doing what you're doing. Keep it up.
Thank you.
And if you could, just tell our audience, along with our studio audience, how can someone contact you if they want to get involved?
Well, we are on Facebook. It's Music Comes First with the 1 ST.
Okay.
And it's our music group. You can always ask us what we're doing there. You can also email me at info@beyourbusiness.com. And that's info@beyourbusiness.com.
Great. Well, we will make sure to put that on the screen as well so that our viewers can contact you. Thank you again for being here. This is amazing what you're doing, and I just encourage you to keep it up.
Thank you so much.
And that's our show for today. Sacramento Filmworks is brought to you in partnership with Access Sacramento and the Northern California Filmmakers Coalition. Thanks to our studio audience, our wonderful guests, and those of you watching at home. I'm Klein Moore.
And I'm Amy Henry. Thank you for watching Sacramento Filmworks, where we show you how film works.